Finally, it's done, man. Mayweather, Pacquiao, May 2nd, I believe. Las Vegas. Fight fans, we finally get the fight, man. Let's get into it. So, Pacquiao, Mayweather, May 2nd, 2015. It's finally here. It's finally done. There's no more concerns about who's on performance-enhancing drugs or any other type of things like that, and who's supposedly running away from, the other boxer. They've gotten the deal done. I'm a fight fan. I'm happy to see it happen. It's probably 5 years too late, but it's better to have it than not have it. I will get into my prognostication a little later, in the year as it gets closer to the fight, probably the week before the fight, and give you who I like. But I think just to kind of give my thoughts and my take on why I think this deal happened is pretty much both guys pretty much had nothing to lose and realized, they're looking at their legacy. This fight had to happen. From the Pacquiao side, obviously he's got a lot of mouths to feed, and the money's not, the money's starting to dry up. There's not a lot of fights left out there for him that he could get a big payday for. He's been begging, wanting this fight for the longest time. And obviously, he's not the same draw he was maybe 2-3 years ago. On the Mayweather side, obviously he's looking at his legacy from a standpoint of, like, he's beaten everybody that's pretty much been in the game during his time. The only person he hasn't really fought of note in this case is Pacquiao. I don't think he's ever, I hear people say, oh, Mayweather's running from him. I don't think Mayweather's ever running from him. I think, I don't know. I do think Mayweather had some concerns about Pacquiao. True or not, I think he did have some concerns about, if everything's on the up and up. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm not trying to cast no shade on Pacquiao. I'm just saying I'm just saying what I thought Mayweather's rationale was for not taking the fight at the time. I do believe in this case. I think also too. I think what made Mayweather, because my whole thing is when you're the favorite or the guy in this case that's controlling the deal, which Mayweather is, you don't take a fight unless you think you could win the fight. And I think Mayweather has seen and watched Pacquiao, not only from the decline in skills, but also for the type of fighter that gives Pacquiao trouble. I've always been thinking about this from the time. I mean, when Marquez, in the 3 fights, you could arguably say he won 2 of them, but or the 4 fights, it's like they fought 4 times. It seems like they fight every couple of years, but you could say he definitely obviously won the last one in stunning fashion. The one that ended up being a draw, I think Marquez was winning that one too, or should have won that one. The first fight Pacquiao won, of course, and I can't remember the third one. I think you could say Marquez won that one too. I think we watched that one at my house. I was watching a different fight than obviously the judges, so you can say arguably maybe 3 times Marquez might have won. But I think what Marquez showed is that in this case, if you're a great counter puncher, you have more than a shot at Pacquiao. Because in this case, he has the power, but if you can absorb the power, you're going to get your shots at him because he leaves himself wide open from a defensive standpoint. I won't get too much into the science of it just yet, but I think that's, from the Mayweather side, I think he saw it that way. I think he wants to get the 50-0. I think he wants to make sure that when he gets the 50-0, that Pacquiao is involved in that 50-0. And I think that's the way he's looking at it. And I think both guys realize there's not much left as far as big fights out there that really make the money they want to make. This fight had to come. I think the market, kind of demanded it. There's no other real fights out there. As I said before, Marquez going to fight Pacquiao for a 5th time. Who's Mayweather going to fight? I don't even think there's anybody really on the horizon that would be even interesting for Mayweather to fight. So this fight had to happen. And I'm glad it's happening than not happening. I know some folks are all down and saying that they're going that it's a watered down product. Maybe they're not their prime. I think Mayweather's still pretty much closer to his prime, even though he's a lot older. But his skills haven't really diminished as much. Pacquiao, obviously, there's a much steeper decline on his. But I think when you have fights like this, egos involved, history and legacy involved. I think guys are going to want to go out, and do their best and really put it out there for the people. So, I mean, the pay-per-view buys are already up to her rumor of $100 for this thing. Who knows what it might end up at by the time we get to May. But, hey, I'll be there watching it. How I'll be watching it, who knows. But I'll be watching it. And I'll give my kind of my pick in this case as we get, maybe the week leading up to the big fight. But it's good to see boxing back in the conversation. Haven't done a boxing podcast in a long time, a boxing show in a long time. And it's good to talk about it, man. As I said before, I'm a big fan, a big fight fan, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to talk about it today, man. So tell me your thoughts about what you think about the fight, Pacquiao, Mayweather. Who knows? I mean, boxing. Likely this is going to turn into some type of sequel or trilogy, but we'll see how it plays out. But May 2nd, I believe it is, 2015, of course, in Las Vegas. And love to hear your comments below on who you like in the fight. Once again, subscribe above, man. Talk to y'all later.